after a dip in new circumstances on the Finnish Living Kills shirt of January. The common fee is climbing again up once more. This is what I know about COVID-19 vaccine newest. Replace. Equally. The World Wellbeing Group Strategic Advisory Group of Consultants. Subgroup analyses discovered that efficacy 14 days after the second dose was 65.4%. Confidence interval 41.1 to 79.6. Within the cohort given the booster at greater than 6 weeks after the primary dose. In comparison with 53.4%. Confidence interval 2.5 to 78.8. In these given the booster at lower than Living Kills shirt 6 weeks after the primary dose. A Public Wellbeing England. 2020. Report back to the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization calculated issues barely. Otherwise. Asserting that efficacy was 92% after the primary dose. By focusing solely on circumstances between days 15 to 28, they presumed that the vaccine solely takes impact after 14 days primarily based on divergence in COVID circumstances between the vaccine and placebo cohorts after this level, and that efficacy 7 days after the second dose can nonetheless be attributed to safety conferred by the primary dose. Living Kills shirt, ladies tee, V-neck, sweater and hoodie, sweater, ladies tee, hoodie, V-neck. Preliminary reviews are additionally rising from an as yet unpublished Living Kills shirt. Serological trial inspecting antibody response in 102 medical personnel who acquired the Pfizer vaccine. First Word Pharma. 2021. They've purportedly discovered that, every week earlier than receiving the second dose, solely 50% of individuals had antibody ranges thought of enough for cover. In comparison with 98% 1 week after the booster vaccination. Which COVID-19 vaccines are being rolled out to be used within the UK. On the 2nd of December 2020, the UK grew to become the primary nation to license a vaccine in opposition to COVID-19 after it granted approval for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, later giving emergency authorization to the AstraZeneca, Oxford, and Moderna vaccines. The FDA Middle for Biologics Analysis and Analysis is answerable for vaccine approval and regulation. The charity sector, a major supply of analysis funding, has notably suffered from a lack of earnings. On October 12, Johnson & Johnson introduced that it paused Part 3 trials for an impartial security assessment because of an unexplained sickness in a participant. No surprising patterns of reactions. Living Kills shirt or different security considerations have been recognized throughout early monitoring. Uncommon, however, severe antagonistic reactions are a very salient concern for a pandemic vaccine, supposed to be administered to wholesome members of almost the whole inhabitants in a brief time period. T-cells elicited by a prime boost routine of the Pfizer vaccine at completely different dose strengths. Administered at 0 and 21 days. Sahin et al. 2020. They discovered that 21 days after the primary dose, geometric imply concentrations of S1 binding Ig elevated in all individuals. Other products.